We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next hour. Historic first World Cup title for Indian women's cricket team as they clinch memorable 52-run victory against South Africa in the title clash in Navi Mumbai. President Murmu, Prime Minister Modi congratulate Team India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the Emerging Science, Technology and Innovation Conclave ESTIC-2025 in New Delhi, also to launch Research, Development and Innovation Scheme to strengthen private sector-led R&D ecosystem. US President Donald Trump does not rule out military operation in Nigeria, says there could be US troops on the ground in Nigeria or airstrikes. Israel says it received remains of 3 additional captives from Hamas as part of a hostage prisoner exchange under the US-brokered Gaza ceasefire agreement. Strong earthquake tremors measuring 6.3 on the Richter scale rattle Afghanistan's Hindu Kush region. Tremors felt from Iran to Pakistan. And on to the details now. The Indian women's cricket team scripted history, winning their maiden ICC World Cup title last night in Navi Mumbai. The women in blue defeated South Africa in the summit clash by 52 runs. The team secured the coveted trophy in its 3rd attempt, having previously lost the 2005 final to Australia and the 2017 summit clash to England. In the 2025 final, Shefali Verma scored a brilliant 87 off 78 balls, while Deepti Sharma contributed a runner ball 58, helping India post 298 for 7 in 50 overs after being invited to bat first. Now, in the chase, Laura Wolvaert led South Africa's reply with the captain's knock of 101, but they were all out for 246 in 45.3 overs. Deepti Sharma claimed 5 for 39 in a fine all-round display on a memorable night for the host, while Shefali chipped in with 2 wickets for 36 runs. With this win, India joined Australia, England and New Zealand as the only countries to have won the showpiece tournament. Well, opening batter Shefali Verma smashed a career-best 87 off 78 balls, helping India post a formidable 298 for 7 in their 50 overs after electing to bat first. Verma, drafted into the side just last week as an injury replacement, also chipped in with 2 for 36 and was named Player of the Match, becoming the youngest cricketer to win the award in an ODI World Cup final. Verma said after the match that everyone told her how important the final was, so she only focused on making runs in the match. Her parents expressed immense joy, saying there is a sense of national pride, with everyone celebrating and looking forward to continued success and joy in the future.
पूरा देश कर रहा था कि वर्ल्ड कप एक बार अपने देश में ही आ जाए, बस परमात्मा ने सब जो ओपनिंग जोड़ी ने ही जो किया है, फिर बाद में वो ही बिल्ड होते और वो सब कुछ हो गया। पूरा देश कर रहा था कि वर्ल्ड कप एक बार अपने देश में ही आ जाए, बस परमात्मा ने सब जो ओपनिंग जोड़ी ने ही जो किया है, फिर बाद में वो ही बिल्ड होते और वो सब कुछ हो गया। पूरा देश कर रहा था कि वर्ल्ड कप एक बार.
Well, Shefali Verma's rise was meteoric even by Indian cricket's hyper-competitive standards. She debuted for India's T20 international side at 15, becoming the youngest Indian to play the format and weeks later, the youngest international half-centurion. By early 2020, she had climbed to number 1 in the ICC T20 international batting rankings, a signal that a high-impact, aggressive batting was built for the bigger stages. And while all-rounder Deepti Sharma scored a fluent 58 before dismantling South Africa's batting order with figures of 5 for 39, her performance not only sealed the match but also earned her the Player of the Tournament title, having finished with 22 wickets and 215 runs across the 9 games. Post-match, Deepti said that she likes challenges and dedicated this trophy to her parents.
दीप्ति ने बहुत अच्छा प्रदर्शन किया। यह हमें उम्मीद थी, वो खरी उतरी, अपने देश का गौरव बढ़ाने के लिए बेटी दीप्ति शर्मा। पूरी टीम इंडिया को बधाई हो, पूरे देश को बधाई हो, सभी को बधाई हो, सभी को बधाई हो।
Well, President Draupadi Murmu congratulated women team on historic win. In a social media post on X, she said, and I quote, "My heartiest congratulations to each and every member of the Indian women cricket team on winning the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2025. They've created history by winning it for the first time. They've been playing well, and today they got the result befitting their talent and performance. This watershed moment will take women cricket to still higher performances. I admire the way the girls have done India proud," unquote. Also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi too hailed the women team for their splendid win. He said, and I quote, "A spectacular win by the Indian team in the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2025 finals. Their performance in the final was marked by great skill and confidence. The team showed exceptional teamwork and tenacity throughout the tournament. Congratulations to our players," unquote. Also, Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia also congratulated women's team. He said, and I quote, "History scripted. What an iconic performance by our women in blue. 140 crore Indians are cherishing this proud moment. Congratulations, world champions," unquote. Also, the Board of Control for Cricket in India has congratulated the team and announced a reward of 51 crore rupees for the players, selectors and the support staff. BCCI Secretary Devajit Saikia said that the victory, seen as a milestone for Indian cricket and women's sports, is expected to inspire more girls to take up cricket seriously. He added that the team now faces the challenge of maintaining their high performance and aiming for future trophies, including the T20 World Cup and the next ICC Women's 50-over tournament.
If you look at the performance of the team before the tournament, also Indian team was doing excellently well. If you look at the graph of last 6 months, they have done wonderfully well in the world white ball cricket. When our team went to England, they defeated England in the both 50-over matches as well as T20 matches. And thereafter, India played a series with Australia also. There, India lost the series by 2-1, but this was a very keenly contested tournament. And I'm sure with the confidence they have attained during the course of last 6 months, they have come to the ICC trophy and with a very positive mindset. No doubt there was three matches they have lost, which they should not have lost, but that has boosted their morale, and the team, they have performed in the quarterfinals sort of match with New Zealand. That showed the character of the team, and against Australia in the semi-finals, that actually has tested the nerve of the team, and Indian team has done exceedingly well when they have defeated 7 times world champion Australia in the semi-final to reach the final, and final was I would rather thank God and the whole team for their wonderful performance. They have outplayed South Africa in all departments today by winning the match by 52 runs.
All right, and India erupted in celebration as the women's cricket team lifted the ICC Women's World Cup, scripting a golden chapter in the nation's sporting history. Now, the streets turned into arenas of joy with fireworks, drum beats and dancing fans waving the tricolour. The victory sparked a nationwide pride, uniting millions in celebration of a team that has redefined Indian cricket. People said the team has made the entire nation proud through their hard work and dedication.
As I've said, it is a proud moment. They've done well, and I congratulate the team. I congratulate BCCI and ICC for promoting women's cricket so much. It is a wonderful victory. The girls deserve all the accolades. Very proud moment for me too. I've waited for this from 2017. We've been trying to win the World Cup, and finally they've done it. This is the 1983 moment for us also. You know, when Kapil Dev won it for the first time. Now Harmanpreet has won it for us. Richa and Shefali, I'd like to congratulate because they've got the Under-19 World Cup and the Senior World Cup. That is a great moment.
I am so happy of our girls. I'm so proud of them. Go India! They've really made the entire nation proud today. And I'm so happy to see so many people come out and celebrate them. They've really made a mark of themselves and they fought every day. And it was a beautiful match to watch. And we're so proud of them.
Absolutely thrilled because it's always that men cricket takes so much of importance today. It's such a lovely sight here that we are cheering up for Indian women cricket team. And it's honestly, every time we have really boasted about Indian men cricket. But this time, it's such a pleasure, such a great feeling that we are feeling so proud. We are here to celebrate Indian women. And because we are also Indian women, so we are super proud of ourselves and our team India. Thank you girls, super proud of you. Chik chak de.
पाँव में पायल, माथे पे बिंदिया, हाथ में बल्ला. It happens only in India. Being as a woman, especially, it is a really proud moment for our country. And a women team, at the time, India was not even given the status of a good cricketer team. Now even the women team is winning right now. India is one of the most strong teams ever. India is win.
The amount of women who are playing cricket today is unbelievable. And there is nothing better than this for women's cricket.
So absolutely thrilled fans out there. Still to come on DD India Newshour. Iran's President Pezeshkian vows to rebuild nuclear sites stronger than before, denies pursuing nuclear weapons. U.S. urban search and rescue teams aid Jamaica after devastating Category 3 Hurricane Melissa. And Tehran's toy museum bridges generations as children discover the playthings of the past.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching the India Newshour. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. And moving on, U.S. President Donald Trump has warned that the United States could deploy troops or carry out airstrikes in Nigeria to stop the killing of large number of Christians in the nation. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One on Sunday evening as he returned to Washington after a weekend in Florida, Trump said he had instructed the Defense Department to prepare for possible fast military action if Nigeria fails to crack down on the killing of Christians. Trump said in a post on Truth Social that the U.S. government will also immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria.
A lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Well, at a church service in Nigeria's Kaduna, Christian leaders expressed frustration with the government's handling of security but drew a line at foreign interference in the country's sovereignty. Christian leaders in Nigeria welcomed Trump's threat to intervene over religious violence but cautioned against any attempt to dictate the country's leadership. And some updates from West Asia now. Israel said on Sunday it had received the remains of 3 additional captives from Hamas as part of the ongoing hostage prisoner exchange under a U.S.-brokered ceasefire agreement for Gaza. Prime Minister's office said in a statement that IDF and Shin Bet forces received the remains of 3 fallen hostages through the Red Cross inside Gaza. The remains are being transported to Israel for identification. The bodies are expected to be those of 3 of the 11 hostages whose remains Israel is seeking from Gaza under the terms of the ceasefire. Israel has said Hamas has been too slow in delivering them. Hamas says it is working as quickly as possible under the difficult conditions. Well, since the start of the truce, Hamas has released the surviving hostages and begun handing over the remains of 28 seized captives. Hamas released all 20 living hostages held in Gaza in return for nearly 2,000 Palestinian convicts and wartime detainees held by Israel. It has so far returned remains of 17 hostages, including 15 Israelis, 1 Thai national and 1 Nepali. And Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on Sunday vowed that his country will rebuild its nuclear sites stronger than before, adding that the country does not seek a nuclear weapon. Pezeshkian made his comments during a visit to the country's Atomic Energy Organization, during which he met with senior managers from Iran's nuclear industry. The sites were damaged following strikes by Israel and the U.S., which accused Tehran of seeking to build nuclear weapons. Tehran maintains that its nuclear program is for purely civilian purposes. Pezeshkian said that Iran will build the destroyed sites stronger than before.
This knowledge is within our scientists. Destroying buildings and factories will not create a problem for us. We will rebuild and with greater strength. I have always said this, if we rely on our brains and scientists, they cannot remove the nuclear industry. by simply destroying one or two things.
اعلام کردن و فتوا دادن که ما
Well, U.S. President Donald Trump claimed that Iran's nuclear program was obliterated in the attack, but the full extent of the damage remains unknown. Trump has warned that he would order fresh attacks on Iran's nuclear sites if Tehran tries to restart the facilities. In June, the U.S. launched strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities that Washington says were part of a program geared towards developing nuclear weapons. And Tehran's main source of drinking water is at risk of running dry within 2 weeks, state media warned on Sunday, owing to a historic drought. The director of the capital's water company, Behzad Parsa, said that the Amir Kabir Dam, one of 5 which provide drinking water for the capital, holds just 14 million cubic meters of water, which is 8% of its capacity. Now, he said the dam can only continue to supply Tehran with water for 2 weeks at that level. Now, as the water-saving measure, supplies have reportedly been cut off to several neighborhoods in recent days, while outages were frequent this summer. In July and August, 2 public holidays were declared to save water and energy, with power cuts an almost daily occurrence amid a heat wave. And on the issue of providing Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, U.S. President said that he is not really considering this option, even after Pentagon had approved long-range Tomahawk missile supplies to Ukraine. A few days back, Russian Foreign Ministry came out with a statement on similar lines, saying sending weapons to Kyiv will not help achieve any settlement, giving Ukraine long-range Tomahawk missiles.
Provide Ukraine with long-range Tomahawk missiles? Is that something that you're not considering that?
No, not really.
Well, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called China an unreliable partner in some trade areas and said that the U.S. could threaten tariffs again if China considers shutting off exports of its rare earths. Now, during an interview, Bessent said that China's threat on its critical minerals surprised him in early October and that we have plenty of things we can hold back too. Bessent said he was optimistic in anticipation of Supreme Court arguments regarding Trump's tariffs and the International Emergency Economic Powers Act.
And we could threaten the tariffs again, and we have plenty of things that we can hold back too. Over the next 12 and 24 months, we're going to be moving at warp speed. We didn't get here in a year. This is a problem that has been with us for several decades. It's never been addressed with these rare earths, the rare earth magnets. The Chinese have cornered the market, and unfortunately, at times, they proved to be unreliable partners.
Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said on Saturday he had apologized to Trump over the ad commissioned by Ontario Premier Doug Ford that used a snippet of Trump saying the tariffs caused trade wars and economic disaster. Now, Carney had told Doug Ford not to run it. In response, Trump announced that he was increasing tariffs on goods from Canada, and Washington has also halted trade talks with Canada. And U.S. President on Sunday called on Democrats to end the government shutdown. Now, the shutdown could cost the U.S. economy between $7 billion and $14 billion, shaving up to 2% from gross domestic product in the fourth quarter due to the lapse in government spending. Now, as a result of the impasse, nearly 42 million Americans will begin losing food assistance on Saturday when funding for food stamp benefits is expected to lapse. About 750,000 federal workers have been furloughed since government funding ended. The Trump administration has taken steps to pay troops, federal law enforcement and immigration officers. Other federal employees are working without pay. Democrats want Republicans to negotiate an extension of federal tax credits to help Americans purchase private health insurance before funding the government. The Republicans want the government reopened before beginning negotiations, and Donald Trump wants the same.
Well, all they have to do is open up the country. You know, we voted 14 times to open the country. We have voted 14 times to open the country. and they vote to keep it closed. All they have to do is vote to open the country, and we only need 5 Democrats. They have a lot of Democrats. We only need 5. But the Republicans have voted 14 times to open the country.
You directed your lawyers on Snap. You directed your lawyers on Snap benefits. You put out that True Social post on Friday, directing your lawyers to look into whether or not you can move around funds. What did they get back to you to find out if you can pay
it's a much easier situation than that. If they vote to open the country and it's opened up immediately, we don't even have to think about that.
Well, tensions escalated outside Serbia's parliament on Sunday as hundreds of protesters gathered to support Dijana Hrka, a mother whose child died in a railway station roof collapse in Novi Sad last year. Hrka began the hunger strike, urging a probe into her child's death and questioning her President Vučić over the incident. Police prevented her from approaching the area outside the parliament occupied by pro-government supporters since March. Protesters threw flares, sparking unrest and police intervention as officers formed cordons to separate the rival groups. Months of protest over the unpunished roof collapse have shaken President Vučić's rule and fueled demands for early elections. And the British police said on Sunday that a knife attack on a train which put 11 people in hospital was not a terrorist incident, adding that 2 men, both British nationals, had been arrested. The 2 men arrested on suspicion of attempted murder were a 32-year-old male, a black British national and a 35-year-old British national of Caribbean descent. Now, of the 11 people hospitalized, 4 have since been discharged and 2 patients remain in a life-threatening condition, police said. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer called it an appalling incident. British Transport Police said counter-terrorism police were supporting its investigation to establish the full circumstances and motivation for the incident. And the UK government said on Sunday that it would move to strip the former Prince Andrew of his honorary title of Vice Admiral, his last remaining military rank. The latest move comes after King Charles III on the 30th of October removed all of his younger brother's remaining royal titles and honours amid growing UK anger over Andrew's ties to Epstein. Now, Andrew was stripped of his honorary military titles by his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth II, in 2022 after he was sued by Virginia Juroff, US sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's main accuser. The king's younger brother was once feted for his role as a Royal Navy helicopter pilot in the 1982 Falklands War. He retired in 2001 after 22 years of service. And a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck near the northern Afghan city of Mazar-e-Sharif early on Monday, killing at least 7 people and injuring about 150. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake hit at a depth of 28 kilometers near Mazar-e-Sharif, which has a population of about 523,000. Balkh province spokesperson Haji Zaid said that the earthquake destroyed part of the holy shrine of Mazar-e-Sharif, referring to the Blue Mosque. Rescue operations are underway to save individuals trapped under building rubble. Afghanistan is especially vulnerable to earthquakes as the country is located on 2 major active faults that have the potential to rupture and cause extensive damage. And still to come, indeed, India Newshour. India launches biggest tri-series military exercise Trishul to strengthen joint operations. Rajasthan road crash kills 18, Prime Minister announces 8. And world marks International Day of Biosphere Reserves today, celebrating harmony between people and nature. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. Historic first World Cup title for Indian women's cricket team as they clinch memorable 52-run victory against South Africa in the title clash in Navi Mumbai. President Murmu, Prime Minister Modi congratulate Team India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the Emerging Science, Technology and Innovation Conclave ESTIC-2025 in New Delhi, also to launch Research, Development and Innovation Scheme to strengthen private sector-led R&D ecosystem. US President Donald Trump does not rule out military operation in Nigeria, says there could be US troops on the ground in Nigeria or airstrikes. Israel says it received the remains of 3 additional captives from Hamas as part of a hostage prisoner exchange under the US-brokered Gaza ceasefire agreement. Strong earthquake tremors measuring 6.3 on the Richter scale rattle Afghanistan's Hindu Kush region. Tremors felt from Iran to Pakistan. And moving on now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Emerging Science and Technology Innovation Conclave 2025 at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi today in a landmark move to strengthen India's research and innovation landscape. The Prime Minister will also launch the 1 lakh crore rupees Research, Development and Innovation Scheme Fund. Now, the ambitious initiative aims to foster a robust private sector-driven R&D ecosystem, encouraging greater participation of industries in innovation and technological development by bringing together global and domestic experts across these domains for 3 days. ESTIC 2025 aims to strengthen India's science and technology ecosystem. And Bahrain's Foreign Minister Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani is in New Delhi on a 2-day visit to India. Today, he will meet External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. His visit comes after Dr. Jaishankar visited Bahrain in December last year. During last year's visit, Dr. Jaishankar co-chaired the 4th meeting of the India-Bahrain High Joint Commission. India and Bahrain enjoy excellent bilateral relations characterized by cordial political, economic, cultural and people-to-people contacts. He will depart from India tomorrow. And later, Prime Minister Modi would again be campaigning in Bihar, where he will address election rallies in Saharasha and Katihar. On Sunday, Prime Minister Modi held back-to-back rallies in Araha and Nawada districts, followed by a mega road show in Patna. Now, he stressed that the NDO's manifesto is a guarantee of Bihar's all-round development, along with social justice. Later, in a social media post on his X handle, Prime Minister Modi thanked the people of the city for their affection and blessings. And on the other hand, RJD leader and Mahagathbandhan's Chief Minister Faiz Tejashwi Yadav held a public rally in Vaishali Assembly constituency. He assured that families without government jobs will be provided with one after his alliance forms the government. And 15 people died and 2 were injured in a road accident in Jodhpur district in Rajasthan on Sunday. Now, the deceased and injured were travelling in a tempo traveller which crashed into a parked truck on the Bharatmala Expressway. The injured were taken to the nearby hospital for treatment and a green corridor was created for the swift transfer, and police have launched an investigation into the cause of the crash. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed grief over the accident and announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh Indian rupees each for the deceased and 50,000 rupees for the injured from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. And nearly 6 months after Operation Sindoor, India is carrying out its biggest military exercise along the coast of Gujarat and western borders of Rajasthan, involving all the 3 services and other agencies to practice multi-domain integrated operations in a large and complex operational environment. Major Tri-Series exercise Trishul, exemplifies India's resolve to safeguard its borders through the spirit of jointness, Atmanirbharta and innovation. The exercise aims to achieve validation and synchronization of operational procedures across the 3 services, enabling joint operations in multi-domain environment. Key objectives include enhancing interoperability of platforms and infrastructure. The drill that has commenced and will continue till the second week of November. And Indian Army's Southwestern Command carried out a major integrated fire and maneuver exercise named Sentinel Strike from October 28 to 30th at Mahajan Field firing ranges in Rajasthan's Thar Desert. The exercise, executed by the Foundation's gunners, showcased exceptional precision and coordination as they engaged and destroyed simulated hostile targets during live firing drills. Conducted in an all-arms environment, the exercise featured modern artillery systems, mechanized forces and a comprehensive counter-drone and counter-unmanned aerial system grid. Following the exercise, Army Commander Lieutenant General Manjinder Singh said the forces are preparing for any act of war, any contingency.
Indian Army is following the political direction of new normal. As we have been told that today any act of terror in the country, whenever it happens, will be act of war. So for the military of the Indian Army have to prepare for this, any act which is going to happen. So for this, in Southwestern Command, we undertaken series of steps to ensure that our activities are aligned and are fully prepared to respond to the enemy if any misadventure is taken anywhere in the country.
Well, the International Day of Biosphere Reserves is being observed today across the globe. Designated by UNESCO, this day is celebrated by regions that promote a harmonious balance between the people and the nature. It also highlights how these reserves contribute to biodiversity conservation and sustainable development worldwide. Take a look.
The International Day of Biosphere Reserves is observed globally on the 3rd of November each year. It was designated by UNESCO during its 41st General Conference in 2022 to mark the 50th anniversary of the Man and the Biosphere program, launched in 1971. The day highlights the critical role of biosphere reserves in promoting sustainable development, biodiversity conservation, and balanced human-nature relationships. As of September 2025, the World Network of Biosphere Reserves includes 784 sites in 142 countries, including 25 transboundary reserves, covering more than 7 million square kilometers, roughly the size of Australia, and home to over 260 million people. These reserves act as living laboratories where communities balance economic growth, cultural preservation, and environmental protection. The observance aims to raise awareness about the global network, strengthen North-South and South-South cooperation, and address challenges such as biodiversity loss, climate change, and unsustainable development. Biosphere reserves contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals by protecting ecosystems, promoting innovation, and advancing climate resilience. The 5th World Congress of Biosphere Reserves was held in Hangzhou, China, bringing together over 2,000 participants to share strategies and best practices for future sustainability. The Congress reaffirmed alignment with global frameworks on biodiversity and climate action. India hosts 18 notified biosphere reserves covering 60,000 to 90,000 square kilometers, with 13 recognized by UNESCO in the WNBR. Nilgiri was the first to be recognized in 2000. The Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat is the largest, while Dibru-Saikhowa in Assam is the smallest. The International Day of Biosphere Reserves serves as a reminder that sustainability depends on cooperation between humanity and nature, built on respect, science, and shared responsibility.
Well, India has taken another decisive leap in space technology and defense communication. On Sunday, Indian Space Research Organisation launched its heaviest communications satellite CMS-03 from Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota. The state-of-the-art satellite will strengthen the Indian Navy's space-based communication network and will enhance the maritime domain awareness. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's space sector has become synonymous with excellence and innovation. More in this report.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
The Indian Space Research Organisation successfully launched its heavy communication satellite CMS-03 from Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh on Sunday.
Two Vikas engines together generating...
The CMS-03, weighing 4,410 kilograms, is the heaviest communication satellite launched by ISRO till date. It was carried into the orbit by LV-M3-M5 rocket, marking yet another significant milestone for the Indian Space Agency.
The CMS-03 satellite is a multi-band communication satellite with coverage over a wide oceanic region, including the Indian landmass, and is designed for providing communication services for at least 15 years. The satellite incorporates a host of new technologies and yet another shining example of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the successful launch of the satellite. On X, he said, and I quote, "Our space sector continues to make us proud. Congratulations, ISRO, on the successful launch of India's heaviest communication satellite, CMS-03. Powered by our space scientists, it is commendable how our space sector has become synonymous with excellence and innovation. Their success have furthered national progress and empowered countless lives." Unquote. Satellite would strengthen Navy's space-based communications and maritime domain awareness capabilities. CMS-03, also referred to as GSAT-7R, is tailor-made to serve as the backbone of Indian Navy's communication network across the Indian Ocean. The GSAT-7R is the most advanced communication satellite developed for the Indian Navy to date. It is entirely indigenously designed and developed and underscores India's growing competence in high-end satellite technologies. The satellite is loaded with multi-band payloads including C, extended C and KU bands that enable secure, high-capacity voice, data and video transmissions between warships, submarines, aircraft and shore-based command centers. Its continuous geosynchronous positions ensures uninterrupted, secure communication for both the armed forces and civilian agencies involved in disaster response, remote sensing and telemedicine. It will also strengthen India's command and control capabilities across its vast maritime frontier. The satellite's introduction will also reduce India's reliance on foreign platforms for strategic connectivity, representing a stride in self-reliance under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's initiative of Atmanirbhar Bharat or Self-Reliant India. Bureau Report, DD India.
And still to come on DD India Newshour. Kenya landslide death toll rises to 2625 missing. OPEC Plus voluntary aid led by Saudi Arabia and Russia announced oil output hike from December. And Trump says NVIDIA's advanced Blackwell chip for artificial intelligence would not be available to other people.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, some weather-related updates now. First up from Jamaica, where urban search and rescue teams from Virginia and California joined recovery efforts recently after Category 5 Hurricane Melissa devastated parts of the island. The U.S. State Department sent 34 people in 4-dog teams to Jamaica. Teams are spread out throughout, assessing damage and delivering supplies and speaking to community residents. Now, Virginia Task Force 1 is a domestic and international disaster response resource that is sponsored by the Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Department. It was established in 1986 and has been deployed throughout the US and world for disaster response. Some of the most notable assignments include Turkey, Haiti, Ecuador, and Nepal for earthquakes, and various US locations for hurricanes, including 2005's Hurricane Katrina. Also, the death toll from the landslide in Western Kenya's Rift Valley has risen to 26 following heavy rains. 25 people were still missing and 26 others had been rescued after devastating floods in Elgeyo Marakwet County. The government has deployed military planes and disaster response specialists to conduct a search and rescue operation. Hundreds of people have been killed in recent years in landslides and flooding in Kenya, with scientists saying climate change is causing more intense and frequent extreme weather events. Landslides in the eastern neighboring Uganda have also killed at least 13 people in the last week. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Charles Coste, the world's oldest living Olympic gold medalist, passed away at 101. According to French media, Coste, who won Olympic gold in track cycling steam pursuit alongside Pierre Adam, Serge Blouson and Fernand de Saint-Nally, passed away on Thursday. He's been the world's oldest living Olympic gold medalist following the death of Hungarian artist gymnast Agnes Kaliti at the age of 103 on 2nd of January 2025. Pope Leo XIV visited Rome's Verano Cemetery on Sunday to celebrate Mass for the Feast of All Souls. Carrying white roses, he laid them on a grave before leading the outdoor ceremony attended by a large crowd. In his homily, the pontiff spoke of the hope and the promise of eternal life. All Souls Day, a Catholic tradition, invites families to honor their departed loved ones with flowers and prayers. Mexicans gathered in candlelit cemeteries adorned with marigolds to welcome back the spirits of loved ones as Day of the Dead celebrations began on November 1st. The centuries-old tradition blends pre-Columbian beliefs with Catholic observances of All Saints and All Souls Day. Historians trace its roots to Aztec rituals honoring the Queen of the Wonderworld, who was believed to guard the souls of the dead. Taylor Swift fans, known as Swifties, gathered at Germany's Wiesbaden Museum to sing and dance to her new hit, The Fate of Ophelia, in front of the famous Ophelia painting said to have inspired the song. The museum's director said fans traveled from Germany, France, England and US, South America to see the artwork and celebrate Swift's latest release. And the 8 key members of the OPEC Plus alliance, including Saudi Arabia and Russia, have agreed to a modest increase in oil production. The group announced a hike of 137,000 barrels per day starting in December. The hike then will remain in place for the following 3 months, marking a pause in the regular increases seen since April this year. The voluntary 8 of OPEC Plus, including Saudi Arabia and Russia, have raised production by 2.7 million barrels per day since April and announced a new increase citing low oil inventories. Brent crude prices remain around $65 per barrel after years of production cost. OPEC Plus is accelerating output to strengthen its global market share amid growing competition from U.S. shale oil producers. And U.S. President Donald Trump said on Sunday that NVIDIA's advanced Blackwell chip for artificial intelligence would not be available to other people. In an interview to CBS News, Trump said the U.S. will not let China have NVIDIA's most advanced chips. Well, NVIDIA, the world's most valuable company, dominates the market for AI chips. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said last week that NVIDIA has not sought U.S. export licenses for the Chinese market because of Beijing's stance on the company. And some market updates now. Asian stocks rose on Monday as investors weighed last week's mega cap earnings, showing significant spending on artificial intelligence. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan was 0.2% higher at 7026.98, hovering near the 4.5-year high it touched last week. The index is up more than 27% this year, on course for its best since 2017. Japan markets are closed for a holiday with no cash treasuries trading, resulting in muting activity during Asian hours. Meanwhile, gold prices fell, edging further away from the record peak it has been at most of the last month, while oil prices rose after OPEC Plus decided to hold off production hikes in the first quarter of next year, easing fears of a supply glut. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world with the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Nipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.